ITX subscribes to AM Best. And if your company also subscribes to AM Best, when you log on to the iSell Marketing app, you will be presented with a tab called AM Better. Clicking on that tab presents a window into a great deal of information regarding life insurance carriers. We have 1,430 carriers listed, which is the carriers that are downloadable from the AM Best website. They're displayed as a table with carrier name and direct premium written totals for different types of premium, direct premium. We got ordinary life, individual annuities, group life, group annuities, group health, group A&H rather, credit life, credit A&H, industrial life, other A&H, and total direct premium written. So in this way, you can quickly isolate those carriers for which your products are most appropriate. If you're interested in individual annuities, you can sort the table descending by individual annuity premiums and find those carriers that may specialize in that type of product. In addition, we have three other columns here. We have one called Tier, one called A, and one called T. Now, there's a button here you can click to get a definition of what those three columns mean. Now, the first tier is a size classification for each carrier based on direct premium written during 2014. And the values range from 1 being the largest to 6 being the smallest. This is a tier structure that we have implemented to enable you to select carriers by size. And this table defines the definition. 6 being either no direct premium written or not reported, basically. Direct premium less than $5 million. 5 is direct premium total between 5 and 25 million. Next up, 25 to 50, then 250 to 500, 500 to a billion, then a billion or over for the tier 1. So anyway, that's our way of categorizing each carrier by size. So if you're interested in a particular size company as far as market, you can filter out all of carriers except for the size you're interested in. The next column, A, is an A is placed in this column for each carrier that has representatives at any of the industry conferences that are tracked by ITX. Clicking on the profile option, which we'll get to in a minute, will display a history of all conference attendees for this particular carrier, at least for the past few years. Also, if you enter an uppercase A in the A filter, only those carriers with attendee history will be displayed. And I'll give you an example of that. The T column, a T is placed in this column for each carrier that is tracked by ITX. This means that by clicking on the profile option, which we'll be demonstrating, pertinent information regarding software actions or decisions by this carrier will be displayed. Also, if you enter an uppercase T in the T filter, only those carriers that are tracked by ITX will be displayed. So that's the definition of those three columns. All right, so let's take an example. Let's say we want to look for some very large carriers, so we'll select Tier 1, and we'll just go for all three here. We want carriers who are sending representatives to trade shows recently, and we want carriers that are tracked by ITX. And our particular product is very popular with ordinary life products, so we'll sort descending on that table. All right, the top carrier that comes up for ordinary premiums, direct premiums from ordinary products, is John Hancock. So if we go over and click on the profile for John Hancock, we'll get this display. Now the top part of this display is data that is downloadable from AM Best. We have the name of the company and the address, the name of the company's parent and the parent's AM Best number. There's a hot link to the company's website. You click on that and it'll open a new tab into that carrier's website. Also, the top officer is named. And there's space here for all of the executives, the executive VP, senior vice president, and vice presidents. Now, this displays whatever is in the AM Best website and downloadable. So some of these carriers don't choose to have this information on the AM Best website, but the ones that do, and most of them do, will be displayed here. In addition, the CIO's name and title will be displayed here. Over here we have the country of residence, the AM Best rating. In this particular case, it's A+ superior, and the outlook is stable. We got the phone number of the carrier, and the carrier's AM Best number, and the tier number represented. And this question mark, if you hover over the question mark, it'll redisplay a definition of what the tier means. Right. And the type of business, this particular one is a stock operating company in the life annuity and accident insurance business. Okay. All right, so that is the top panel, which displays data directly from AM Best. On down further, we have 4 panels that display various types of information. Each of these panels will display up to 3 lines, regardless of how many lines actually exist for this particular type of data. The first one is conference attendees. This is a history of employees of this, or at least representatives of this company, John Hancock, who have attended industry conferences over the past several years. We have 125 in total. This is the first 3, sorted by year and conference name. We have, of course, the name, the title of the person, their email, phone number, and address. You can page on down to see the rest of the attendees. You can also, of course, sort them by year or name or however you like. Any of these columns you can sort by. The next panel down is actions. These are actions that is part of ITX's tracking of carriers. And when we find out or learn of a particular software action that the carrier is taking, we enter it into our database. John Hancock has 2. One was a watch list for a BPO solution search, and a conversion of a block of business. The next panel down is decisions that have been historically made that we're aware of, so we'll record that. And the last panel is history. Prior to this year, ITX has produced documents containing this type of information, and this is history that we've produced in document form prior to 2015. I'll display it here. Now you notice that some of these lines will have more information than will fit on the line, so you can click on this expand option and it will display in a pop-up window all of the text entered for that line. All right. So any line that has more text than will fit, you can display the pop-up window and have access to all of the information contained. Okay, so that is the panel that pops up. Now you notice that when you select a carrier from the AM Better table, displays this and also creates a new tab. So we have a tab listed as John Hancock, Life Insurance USA. If we were to go back to AM Better and select another one, for instance AXA, it'll add an additional tab. So it adds a tab for each one you selected, so you could select a couple, for example, and compare the two. And you can just click on the X in the upper right hand corner and it'll delete the tab. Another thing I want to show you is the group option. We've just clicked on the profile to see the detailed profile for the particular carrier. We can also click on the group option and it will show you all of the carriers in this group. So all carriers associated with John Hancock. It lists the parent company, which is Manulife Financial Corporation, and the AM Best number for that. and then all of the affiliate companies that operate under Manulife. These are all 3 operating companies, and for any one we just looked at is John Hancock Life Company of the U.S. So we can just look at the New York company by clicking on the profile over here. And it does the same thing as the profile we just looked at. It will show you the profile for that company, basically the same screen as this profile on the. So if you're interested in, if you're doing research and interested in a particular carrier, you can review the other carriers in the same group of companies and maybe get some more information on related companies and display each of their profiles. Okay, so that is AM Better feature of the iSell Marketing App.